ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introduce.
Yes, if there's anybody on the show that want to celebrate the ladies' football today on the show, yes, me. If there's anybody that want to talk about the football world coming from the ladies' side or the women's side, shout out to my mom anyways, that person is me on the show today. I'm feeling like those Super Falcons ladies. The result yesterday was amazing. Outstanding game played by Madugo and his lads. They were so exceptional yesterday. If you watch that game very well, you would understand that Hazel, who got a start yesterday, we saw Ilumi Jersey, we saw Alozie with that flick, we saw Echegene. I mean, looking at these ladies, Chamaka Nadozi, Ohali, Abiodun from the bench. Like, what more can be said about these ladies? Congratulations to Nigeria Super Falcons on this very day. I'm just right here in the studio using my mobile before this very game, or before I came on air. I was just watching on YouTube the interview of Rashida Ajibade. She could just not talk. And she said a word that struck my mind. She said, "This is not just about me. I don't deserve this man or woman of the, it sounds weird anyway, woman of the match award. But this is a teammate. This is a collective effort. And that's the lady I'm talking about. She plays for Atletico Madrid, Feminizal in the Spanish La Liga eSport way. And what more? Because yesterday we see, I personally, I was looking at the game and I'm like, where are we going from here? The tournament has been played 13 times. We've won 9. So if we happen to win this very recent one, it means Nigeria will clinch on the 10th trophy. So, but let's get into the news properly, where Nigeria Super Falcons are through to the final of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON after a thrilling 2-1 win over rivals South Africa on Tuesday. That game was played in Casablanca in the tightly contested semi-final at the Labi Zuli Stadium. The Falcons struck first in the 45th minute when Rashida Ajibade calmly converted from the penalty spot after a foul inside the box. Now, that penalty was not so good, but I think she was just anticipating to see the ball go past the goalkeeper. The defending champion, Bayana, responded early in the second half with a penalty on their own, which was slotted home confidently to bring the game to level after a foul by Nigeria. With both teams pushing for a winner, Nigeria found a decisive moment later on. Guess who did that? It was defender Michel Alozie, who has been solid all tournament, stepped up in the 90th minute. You could say 90 plus 4, because there was an additional time to call home a stunning free kick that left the South African goalkeeper confused. When I saw the goal, I saw that goal, I was thinking someone actually touched that ball, like Abiodun, but no, it was rechecked again, and the goal counted for Michel Alozie. The result means Nigeria will now have the chance to win a record extending 10th WAFCON title as they take on host nation Morocco in the final of the WAFCON 2024. Now, looking at our ladies, you can see they are like the next big thing. It's a sweet revenge for the Super Falcons because they were beaten by South Africa in the group stage of the WAFCON 2022. So I like that result because it went our way. Now, before I get to the next phase, before I talk about the presidential support, I'd like to tell you about the way they started yesterday, because Madugo on his own team is doing so well. If you watch the Gaffer's interview, whenever he talks about his ladies, there's something he does extraordinary way. He does not like to speak in English. I don't know if that's a style. I don't know if that's a niche for him. I don't know. But he likes to sound in a way that he brings it down to the local language. Take it back to South way. He speaks pidgin. And he tells you, we go win this game. We know say people don't believe us. You know, it says what's like, yeah, cool. But quickly on the show today, before we get to that presidential support, because I know Nigeria does something a lot very well. Whenever there's a big game played out there, we like to have the politicians, yes, coming to say, because I recall growing up, Otedola used to say, when you win this match, it gives you this, Aligo Dangote, African finance, if you know, money-wise. They do this a lot, but it's a different version. Because one man on the show who is rating or personally rooting for these ladies is our president. But I like to talk about the way they started yesterday. It was a good game. Actually, it was a very nice game. It was a decent game because left for me, I could have just guessed wrong if I wanted to do the lineup the way it should go. I don't know how Madugo did this. Now, his start up front was just phenomenal. Hazel, who plays for Pachuca. You know Pachuca, right? The Mexican side. The lady who scored a lot of goals, she came in from the bench like the super sub of this set of ladies. Now, anytime she comes in, she scores a goal. Against Tunisia, she did score. She came in from the bench the other time, she scored. And yesterday, the manager was like, this is time for me to give this lady that opportunity to show the world that, yes, I can get a start. Personally, I felt like the manager wanted to bring her in as a sub, but we saw a different transitioning in that very game. As either Shola was not on the start, or Nomono was not on the start, Uchebi was not on the start, Tony Payne was not on the start. So we have players like Rashida Rajibade, the skipper of the side, yeah? Ihezu up there, and Rinsola Babajide also did not get a start. So it was a different squad. Abiodun did not start. They started the deep role. And I watched Echegini, plays for Paris Saint-Germain, the ladies, she started. Now I looked at the back line. I feel like the manager can tweak his team in any kind of way, but what he does not like to do is touching the back line. It's obvious, I know, because Chamaka Nadoze, like Arali said yesterday, I could save my money with that lady. Like, she's a very good save. Just one goal conceded from these ladies. One goal conceded from the Falcons, just one. Not even two, just one goal, and it was that penalty. So I would have felt like maybe we would have gotten the result, just go far and don't concede. But it happened, that's why it's called football. But the back line, did you see them play? Michela lost it from the right back. Ashley Plumpton from the left back. Now, the defensive role with the centrals, Ohale plays for Pachuca. She's actually advanced. I feel like this is her last tournament for the Falcons. Ohale, well experienced, calm collectively in her game, but she can go rough if she wants to go so. She paired with them in a hand. So this set of players, this backline, this is the backline we used to know from the Falcons. Don't forget, we had a former coach of the Falcons, Round the Wildrum, even though he said a lot about Nigerian football. He said, I was old, they're not paying me, blah, 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 long story, he said. But I'm looking at the way the team has meant themselves. I must give credit to Justin Madugo, I must tell you. I don't know how he has been able to fine-tune this team. The play together, the play with, like, the play seamless, like this is just us playing. When it felt like everything was at stake. Now, you know what happened yesterday? That game yesterday, we played against the Bayana. They are the defending champions. I know that we've played more games than they have played, yeah? But I'm looking at it from the aspect where you say, who is the better side? Who were the better side? Was it the better side that got the result? Yeah, yes, I would say. Because when I watched the South African side play, I knew within myself that they would not let Nigeria play too much. They know us very well. They are the defending champion. You're playing against a bigger side. So they are not just a mere team. They are playing against a side and know that, yes, we must be compatible to get this result. Now, if you look at the game, we scored first, the penalty. It was not as if it was enough. They equalized it. So what would have happened, peradventure, just maybe, if that game had not gone that way? If Michelle Alonso never got that free kick, and that she had to, and she struck the free kick, well taken by Alonso. But I think it's about the Abiodun staying in front. Abiodun was there. I can't recall the other player, but I saw two players just in front of the goalkeeper. They actually confused the keeper, and he could not see that ball. So it felt like it bounced and then got past the goalkeeper, and then the Super Eagles, or Super Falcons rather, better word, sorry, celebrated that goal. And I was just jubilating because I saw that game and I said, this one will be a very tough one. Even when we scored one, I knew it was still going to be tough. But it's about the manager and the way he fine-tunes his team. Everybody would have thought Oshola, she's the biggest on African shores. She's won the African Best Player of the Year like 4 times. And no lady has come this close. She's African most decorated player. But she was on the bench yesterday. Just 2 changes he made. He made 2 changes. Now, the 2 changes he made was Uchebi from Benfica, the lady, and brought in Abiodun. Just these 2 changes paid off yesterday. So why would you not give a record or credit to a manager like this man who knows his job well? Now, I look at the starting. Okoronkwo also fantastic player at the time. But I really like to talk about the bench line. So you know we've got a lot of qualities on the bench. Now, I saw the game when Babajide Rinsola was on the bench. We had Issa on the bench. Okafor was on the bench. Oladipo was on the bench. Onomono on the bench. Oshola, Oyedupe, Tony Payne. All of those players were on the bench. So just 2 changes made with Chebi and Abiodun. And it paid off. But look at the stats. Now, when you look at the stats, Ijami Lucy, that's the name, the lady, I was surprised that she would get in the stats. So I don't know how this manager has this record himself to make things right. She plays for Leonens. And then she was also pairing from the right, and from the left was a Chekini of PSG, and the midfielder Ayinde. So Okoronkwo played the number 9 role. Now we have Oshola who can play that same role. We have a Nomono who can play that same role. Ajibade can play anywhere up front. Then she has to swift just to the right. But I like the way she talked about herself in the interview. Questions was raised. Media people were just there. They were asking questions. I said, Ajibade, tell us about this game. How do you feel being the woman of the match? She kept on crying. It was an emotional segment for me. She was just crying. Before she could talk, she sounded very clean anyways. And she said, this one is not a well-deserved thing for me. It's God that's placed me this way, and I dedicate this award to my teammates. Not just about me carrying it, I'm carrying for the team. So she's the woman of the match yesterday, and I believe that the Super Falcons will get the result right come Saturday against the host nation. But let's talk about the #1 citizen of Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has hailed the Super Falcons for reaching the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON after a dramatic 2-1 victory over Banyana of South Africa in yesterday's semi-final clash in Casablanca. Now, the president in a post on his X handle, formerly known as Twitter, described the team's performance as a magnificent display of grit, talent, and the indomitable Nigerian spirit. I believe this one. That's true. Absolutely true. He said the players has made the nation proud with their efforts. Tinubu congratulated the team for the achievement and urged them not to relent in their quest to lift the trophy. I like to reiterate, I like to say what he said. I like to talk about the post on X. He said, congratulations to our Super Falcons. Your incredible WAFCON 2024 semi-final victory over South Africa today was nothing short of superlative. It was a magnificent display of great talent and indomitable Nigerian spirit. You have made the nation proud. Keep soaring, don't stop until you bring the trophy home. And he said, go for our 10th title. This sounds like we own it. Nigerians worldwide are rooting for you. We are waiting to receive the cup. He wrote this on his official X handle. Not just about the president. I here in the studio, for me, Kizike, I'm definitely rooting out for these ladies. I'm rooting for them. I'm believing that they will get the result on Saturday. I know we are going to, I don't want to use the word smash. You know, gone past the time the same football, you're playing against the host nation, home advantage you play. I don't think that works anymore because you and I know if Paris Saint-Germain catch you as they did so for any place, home and away, they could knock you. So that's what it is. So it's not about homes. I know it works. Ovation works. The stadium, when you look around on Saturday, you will see that everywhere will be more of the Moroccans. They are the host nation. It's Casablanca team. We know how it works. But because of I know my team, because I believe in the Nigerian side, because I know that we are like the next big team, because I know that we are a side that have won it 9 times. So the mentality is big. Now, the president has urged these players not to relent. Don't think about it so much because, yes, you've won it more time than any other team. Go there and show them that, yes, you are the Super Falcons. Now, I like the coach because he's very optimistic anytime he's on this job. So if there's anything Justin Madugo is thinking at this point in time, it's just one thing. How do I bring this trophy back to Nigeria? We are really rooting for these ladies. And on the show from the sports desk here, we wish them all of the best, and that I know will be coming on Saturday. Now, let's get more into the news where we did see this one South African, that same match. But this one says, not the result we expected. South African ladies are reacting after that very loss. They are not sleeping now. They're not happy about the news. But South Africa women team have claimed the 2-1 defeat to Nigeria in the semi-final of the ongoing Women Africa Cup of Nations is not the result they expected. So they considered that late goal. It was heartbreaking on Tuesday night. Ajibade with the penalty, you know the story. And a tweet from Banyana X page reads, it ends with a loss against Nigeria and not the result we expected. See, whether you like it or not, take it or believe it, right? There's this rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa. I, for one, was thinking I was going to see possibly maybe a West African final. I was just waiting. I was anticipating. I'll talk about that very game that was played where the Ghanaians, the Black Queens, lost to Moroccan side. The host nation will come to that phase. But let me just talk about this one. Everybody knows, see, how do I say this to you so you understand? I have this personal fear for South African football. They've got a structure. They know this job well. I'll talk about Michael Okoye when the time is right. Just don't worry. Okoye is in the news about his ban and the rest of that. But these South African people, they are just a top-notch team. They've got infrastructure, facility-wise, 100%. They've started this like a procedure. And looking at what they are doing now, it's a different ballgame. So South African side are like the and also well deserved if you want to go by infrastructure in Africa for me, for now. Because Morocco also will take the lead as well, with both sides. Now, Morocco is just starting. South Africa has built this thing over time. And you cannot tell me that it's not paying off. Now, one of the problems we are having in the women, the national side for the male category is that the Super Eagles are yet to qualify for the World Cup. Now, if you ask any Nigerian out there, they will tell you that one of the fear we are having now is the part where we look into how do we go past the South African Bafana. Because you're indirectly, literally playing against a team that are just compacted. They don't really travel a lot. They are just in the shows of themselves. You watch the male category, Mamelodi Sundowns, there's a Kitchen Chiefs, there's Orlando Pirates, United, all of these clubs side. Yes, they have it there. But majority of the South African players ply their trade in their best club side that we saw at the FIFA Club World Cup, and that's Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you play against a team like this, you must be celebrating it. You just have to celebrate it because what more can be said? Congratulations to these ladies. But let's get more on the top point and let you know it's not just about Nigeria. Let's talk about the host nation, Morocco, who edged Ghana into that shootout, and it was a 4-2 result. Host Morocco broke their place in the second successive Women's African Cup of Nations final after edging Ghana 4-2 on penalties in the tense semi-final clash that ended 1-1 after extra time in Rabat. That's the ladies you have on your screen. The Atlas Lionesses held their nerve from the spot, with goalkeeper Kajija Emrichi making a crucial save and two Ghanaian players missing to seal a place in Saturday's final clash against Nigeria. The defeat means Ghana must now battle South Africa in Friday's third-place playoff. In a fiercely contested match at the Stade Moulay Abdullah, it was Ghana who struck first through Stella Mnyeke in the 26th minute. The midfielder pounced on the loose ball inside the box, pulling the corner, and far past Emrichi to give the Black Queens a deserved lead. The goal capped a bright start for the King Brogan side, who looked more composed and energetic in the opening half, creating several dangerous chances through Doris Bandua, Princess Balfour, and also Chantelle Boye-Hakler. Morocco, however, responded with increased urgency after the break. The home crowd riled them on, and also their effort paid off. They were rewarded in the 55th minute when Sakina Muzuri-Dike bottled the ball into the net from a close range after sustained pressure and a deflected effort from Basma Jaredi. The equalizer energized the Atlas Lionesses, who began to dominate possession, but Ghana remained dangerous on the counter, with Priscilla Abde and also Alessi Kose coming close in the late time. I felt they would have scored. They should have scored, but sides did not go their way. And everybody knows that both sides, they had the chances to win in normal time, but neither could find a breakthrough. Extra time offered more drama as fatigue set in. Injury forced multiple substitution, with Moroccan side Fatima Taugnos and also Ghana's Priscilla Aude needing treatment. Ghana Evelyn Badu missed a glorious chance in the 100 minutes heading. I felt like Evelyn Badu should have scored that one. It was just like the Alozie goal. But with the deadlock unresolved after 120 minutes, penalties were required to separate the two African sides, the two African powerhouses. Morocco's nerve was so high. Morocco's nerve held firm. Hanana Eid Haji, Ibisma Gerardi, Kenza Chapelle, and Issa Mamari converted their spot kick while Ghana missed twice. Evelyn Badu fired wide and Comfort Yebua seen off effort saved by Emrichi. The final whistle triggered wild celebration among the Moroccan players and fans as George Vida side, you could say George Vida, you want to call him, reached the final of the second tournament running. So for the second tournament running, and that result continues, Morocco now are dreaming of lifting their first ever WAFCON title on home soil. Ghana, meanwhile, will be left to rue their missed opportunities, but they still have a chance to end with the tournament, just end the tournament with the possible, just getting the medal when they take on South Africa for a third place, and that will be played on Friday. So that's the result about female football. Now, like I already told you, dedicating the show to every woman out there. Let's talk about this now. The CAF Women AFCON tournament game. This one is saying, we give everything. Jennifer Kujo, that's the Black Queens of Ghana. She's a midfielder. She said losing to Morocco in the semi-final of the 2024 CAF Women AFCON really hurts. And I felt so bad for her. She said Ghana women national team deserves this win. She said this in a post-game interview after Ghana fought to loss to the host nation in the penalty shootout after drawing 1-1 on end of regulation time and extra time took place. Now, Coach Joe lasted the entire duration of the contest alongside midfielder Batna and Grace and Sewa as Ghana completed its second straight game after extra time. The Black Queens beat Algeria on penalties in the quarterfinal. Despite dominating the first half and the early portion of the second half, Ghana failed to take advantage of its chances, and Coach Joe believes the team gave everything to secure the win. Now, let's talk about her. That's a lady. Sounds emotional. She said, this loss, this one actually hurts. I feel like we gave everything. It just hurts because I feel like we deserve to be in the final. But also, I'm very proud of the team. We didn't give up. We proved to everyone that we can do something. And hopefully, the next game, we can get a medal. We still have hope. But in general, I'm proud of the team. And we should have made our chances. But it hurts. And she lastly said, I am so sad. But don't forget, Ghana will take on South Africa in the bronze medal game on Friday, July 25 at 19:00 GMT, while Morocco take on Nigeria in the final game on Saturday, and that's about July 26 at 20:00 GMT time, if you know. Yes, so I also will be waiting for that very result, that it goes Nigeria way. I will see both games. I will watch the Friday game. What side will I support? I'm just going to watch the better side gets the result. But on a Saturday night, Kizuke would be watching that very game, believing that the turnaround will go in favor of the Super Falcons. Now, away from the women football, let's shift attention to our major talk point, Serie A news, Nigerian news, world football news, any way you want to talk about it. It's a news connected to Nigerians all over the world. Udinese goalkeeper, who we celebrated not long, he came down to Enugu State. That's him, Okoye. I used to call him fine boy, no pimple. Some days back, he's now in the news because he is now banned from football. Udinese goalkeeper Okoye has been handed a 2-month ban for illegal betting in Italy. It was feared Okoye would be suspended for 4 years if found guilty of sporting fraud. The authorities, however, opted to convict the Nigerian international for a lesser charge of illegal betting. Okoye was alleged to have been deliberately booked in Udinese's Serie A clash with Lazio on March 11, 2024. The 25-year-old received a yellow card for time wasting in the 64th minute on the encounter. However, Okoye will miss 1 Coppa Italia and 7 Serie A games. He will only be available for selection again on October 19th. Okay, now let me talk about Okoye. Lucky him. Lucky Okoye. Lucky Maduka Okoye. You know why I'm saying he's lucky is because we've seen players on a legal route on this betting scandal. Tonali is an example. We know the story, how it goes. Anything that has to do with dope, betting, these are violations that the football world does not condone. So having Okoye being part of this news, so I don't know, from 4 months, or 4 years rather, to 2 months, it means the investigation is still not clear. But I like to be Nigerian every time. I like to be Nigerian every time when it has to do with our own people. I'm just praying, because right now we know investigation is still on. I'm praying that nothing comes out bad about this. Because from 2 months, if he entered 4 years. So initially we had 4 years ban for Okoye if found guilty. But after all of the checks, maybe after all the said and done, just maybe I'm saying, Maduka Okoye will now be out for what? Just 2 months. But don't forget, illegal proceedings continues. Now let's bring you this one. Sounds so bad for African football. No, good for African football, bad for Nigerian football, bad for NFF, bad for our NSC, bad for our sport, bad for me, bad for you if you're Nigerian, if you know. Now, how can we have the CHAN 2024 CAF list 70 match officials, no Nigerians selected? It boils down to what I'm always talking about on the show. How can we have our official talk and you're not seeing one, not be one who, like, not even Nigeria will do last man, will not see anybody. That's how bad it is. Because we saw the news where the Confederation of African Football, CAF, announced the final list of match officials appointed for next month CHAN 2024 with no Nigerian selected. A total of 70 match officials have been selected, including 26 referees, 26 assistant referees, 18 video match officials, VMOs, representing over 30 CAF member associations across the continent. Morocco, Bachura, Kabobi, and also Uganda, Shamira, Nadana led the group of women referees chosen for the event, with seasoned assistant referee Diana Shukutisa, and also from Zambia, and also Cameroon, Antazambong Fomo Karin also making the cut. Also included are video match officials such as Mahmoud Ashiru from Egypt, Sami Krizas from Morocco, Goban Mustafa from Algeria, underscoring CAF's focus on high-level technical support during the competition. All match fixtures and also officials are required to be in a host country ahead of the tournament before it starts for the final preparation. They will participate in the pre-tournament referee workshop that combines theoretical lessons and practical exercise to ensure full compliance with CAF officiating standards and also the effective use of technologies such as VAR. That's the video assistant referee. The tournament has been scheduled to take place from August 30th, you can say August 2, like you can say 2nd of August to 30th, 2025. Kenya, Tanzania are the host of this very one, also Uganda in the mix. Now, this is sad news. It saddens my heart that we don't have, this. No, I don't know. See, it's going to be a very nice time with these referees, I must tell you. One of the days I was seeing on TV, I was watching Sky Sports News where the Premier League is about to kickstart, you know, the news, where I saw officiators, referees like, you know, the management. Howard Webb was there. He's a head man on the PGMO who was there. And they went on the preseason. I think Africa is getting better somehow in football, in sport generally. They went on the preseason and having good time, diet-wise, they're eating very well, resting well. They're on the track, they're on the gym. They are doing everything effectively just to see that they keep on with the pace of the players. One of them was asked a question, I can't recall the name, and he said something like, we do this because we want to be pacey, we want to be energetic. We might not have the pace the players have, but we should be close. And one example that was stated out was Anthony Elanga, who currently made a move from Nottingham Forest to Newcastle. He's very pacey. Now, you can see this one now. How can we say Nigerian sports is developing? Every time there's a talk about selections, news, we are not always involved. Why? What are we doing about this to make sure that our referees get a call up in African news? What, sports-wise, if you know, what are we doing about this to see that they have that the deserved training for themselves to be out there so the African side can see them? Since they enough you do African work, they enough you go Europe now. It means that the MPFL, it means that we don't have a best in MPFL. Sorry to say, but that's what it is, like a bitter truth. Nigerian Premier Football League, before professional, thank God they took that professional, because me, I was wondering what's professional about that. No disrespect. But I'm looking at it from the perspective where we are looking, we are finding it difficult to break into the officiating road. Why is ours very difficult? If I begin to call the country, the last time we saw it in Ivory Coast, official, we saw even from, what's the country? Is it Benin Republic? We saw from Eritrea. We saw from some of the countries that are not even big in football world. So does it mean that we don't officiate well? Does it mean that the corruption have eluded us off this road? Does it mean that we don't know what we are doing? Does it mean that we are just wasting our time thinking we're in the sports world and nothing's happening? Does it mean that we have not done it right to be on this phase? And you say we are African champions. How come? Officiating, not selection, now officiating. Even last man we not see. You know last man work, Abi? We say they play man, they play man, last man go to one side. You know that thing? We not see. That's how bad it is for Nigeria in our sports world. We want to be the next big thing. We're not even, see this, someone said to me, we are now used to bad news. We are used to this kind of things. If I find myself to be in that position, or possibly on the top of this kind of news, I'll feel so bad, and I'm going to fight to see that we come out well, that this doesn't happen next. Now the Nations Cup is coming up. December 21 in Morocco, Casablanca again, you know. I'll wait to see the officials. If you cannot be in the CHAN, if you cannot make it for the CHAN, then I don't know if you can make it for this one. Because some of these referees will just have a slight involvement on the recent one coming up. So how do we go from here? Does it show that we are not good enough? Does it show that our sports or football world is not doing the right thing? Is it that we're not taking the right measures? Is it that we don't know what we are? That's like the best word. It be like we don't know what we do, because all of these things sound so bad. When you see, just go Google your phone, check your mobile. When you look at the countries involved in this, you begin to be ashamed. If you're a Nigerian, you'll be ashamed of yourself. You'll be asking questions, how can all these countries be part of this one and we're not here? A country that brings out, or that just recently brought out the CAF Best Player of the Year. We want it in the doorway. We want it like back to back. 23-24. Osimhen Lookman, handle battle. Okay, Nigeria will be great. I'd like to say it starts from you. But let's go on and give you this news where there's a fun fact, but I call this one a fact check. Nigeria currently is about the World Cup dream, with Nigeria sitting fourth in the 26 World Cup qualifying group with a solidarity 7 points from 6 matches. Former Super Eagles and West Brom Albion forward Brown Ideye has opined that the Nigerian football team have little to no hope of qualifying for the 26 World Cup. That's the FIFA way. Now, when I'm done with this one, I'm going to be asking questions to Chioma. I think Chioma, I don't know, because she's on the sideline, she's laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? Like, okay, you. Well, I understand that it's VOP, everything goes work. Now, I tell them all, the 36-year-old striker edged his name into Nigerian football history South Africa, starting all of the Super Eagles knockout games as they sealed the AFCON 2013 with a win, and that's the title under Stephen Keshi. He is a Nations Cup winner. If he's talking, I will listen. Although Ideye never represented the 3-time AFCON champions at the FIFA World Cup tournament, he never won the World Cup. He aired his disappointment about the current squad Nigerian possesses. Eric Chelsea's side have just won. The best English is Eric Chelsea's side have won just one of their 6 qualifying games and are fourth on their group table, meaning they must win their remaining 4 fixtures to stand a chance. If we want to be at the World Cup, we must stand a chance to win those games. Having already missed the 22 edition of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, it will be further heartbreak for Nigerians if the Super Eagles miss another edition of the biggest football tournament. You call it the biggest football mondial. While several personalities have urged the Chelsea side to give their all to stand a chance to qualify, Ideye remains pessimist, stating that they will be most likely not achieving their converted goals. We might not go to the World Cup. Now, let me quote Ideye. That's the style he was known during the time he was playing for the Super Eagles, currently with Enyimba Set. He liked his hair, though. You know, he played for Ukraine and checked into the next news. But he said, with the present form, I don't think we are going to qualify unless and maybe if something changes. I don't know what changes. When your destiny lies in your hands of your opposition, it's no longer a thing for you. You have to just watch it and see how it goes. He said, that's because we always forget to do our job at the right time. We then look for someone else to clean up our mess. Why do we keep on doing this? Why can't we just win our games and let others do the accounting, the calculations, and the mathematics? Why do we keep on doing this in a hard way? We started very, very badly again. It's a very, very bad one for this country that has up to 200 million plus Nigerians. He said, every time the national team is playing, people leave their jobs, close their shops, and put things aside. Everything is not all right in our way. Right now, a lot of people have given up in Nigeria. He said, nobody believes in them anymore. Even if they eventually qualify for the World Cup, they will have to get a great stage, he said, for people to get to a great stage rather, for people to start believing in them, and for us to say that Nigeria can make the result right. He said maybe like getting to the semi-final, which we have never reached. Do you understand what he's saying? Even if, according to him, even if we qualify for the World Cup, the fans, the morale we have is down. I believe not the game. I believe we the final for example, but we will not get on. He said until we get to a bigger stage, we've never been to the quarterfinal before. Morocco, Senegal stories, but the Super Eagles have a chance to put Ideye's speech to the sword. When they resume their World Cup qualifiers campaign in September, and I tell you, Eric Chelsea will now take on Rwanda and South Africa. Should they secure 6 points from these fixtures, they will be in a pole position for direct qualification. Can we qualify is the question. Can we get to the next phase is the question. Everything is going south for Nigeria at this point in time. So it's not about the big names. It's about the teamwork. We are going to play against a club side. Sorry to use the word, but that's what it is. Nigeria will play against Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns is a team that has South African players ply their trade. Majority of the starting 11 for Hugo Bros are in that team. Kekana, they are so much. Ibrahim Rayena, they are in that team. Teboho Mokwena, they are in that team. They're plenty. How do you break away from that team? They are very strong. They are very, very nice. The goalkeeper as well, you know him. You saw him at the last FIFA Club World Cup, even though he conceded a lot of goals, but they have a team. So I'm just looking out for Nigeria, and I'm believing that, yes, we are going to get things right. But wrapping up on the show, let's tell you, this one's like a good news. NFF launches Coach Educators course in Abuja. I like this one. The Nigerian Football Federation NFF has commenced its second ever Coach Educators course in Abuja, becoming the 6th African nation to implement this initiative. NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohamed Sanusi highlighted the program goal of also producing elite coaches through scientific teaching methods and also rigorous assessments. He said, I am confident that the instructor and also institution and also the instructors from CAF will effectively address the essential topics in these courses. I wish I was there. I like to be here. He said, we anticipate measurable changes by the course conclusion, which will reflect the learning outcomes achieved. Not be to carry certificate for hand be the thing, no, you go feel use them. Okay, now you can see them. A notable shift in attitudes and behavior will serve as a validation that participants have successfully completed the coaching course and can effectively disseminate their newly acquired knowledge within their respective roles. Just recently, we talked about Joseph Yobo. He's in school now. He has gone back to school because he knows that one of the problems we are having on this Nigerian phase is that some of them that played football think that when you're done playing, you can just go into administrative role. It does not work like that. Now, you're a good footballer does not determine that you'll be a very good coach. Gary Neville is an example. He knows what I'm saying. Now, he come up for Spain. He won a lot of trophies himself. Decorated player, an English international, right back to Okoye, Man United legend. We know him, England legend. He's a very big player with his brother Phil Neville. We know them. He won a lot of laurels, a lot of trophies to his name. You want to go try coaching job, it not work. Not be more say if you play ball, you go feel coach. Not be like that. If you can't go play ball, you can't say me you can't go do some kind of coaching course. You can't try me, you experiment, I go work. Not be say you just did it, say you collect, you go try and maybe first check on. Because right now, CAF expert Michael Amenga and NFF Technical Director Augustine Eguavo were among key officials at the opening ceremony alongside 15 participating coaches. Now, these coaches with this certificate, before I quote what NFF said, will they be given the opportunity to utilize what they've learned? A coaching course, see, we like news for Nigeria. With this in our breaking news, we like me say news don't come out. Maybe just say that the news video we like and die. We too like news. But now to enhance and not be the matter. It's more like when you talk about my friend, I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating about it. My friend. Now first class he get for school, first class, PhD. He don't do it. As I follow on the young so for research NRA Junction, they do POS. In brother, they do the shop, in the shop one, they do shop two. Now graduate be that. Many Nigerians don't their certificate, they read the drive keke. They talk, if people say they talk about it, you just laugh. It's just a real thing about Nigeria. So Nigeria is not like a country that you say certificate does not even work. Because sometimes the well-deserved people don't get to be where they need to be. They want to be somewhere, but they don't give them a chance, maybe they explore. See, they don't snap picture now for everywhere they see them. Even this news world they carry them. Nigeria coaching course. We go find these coaches, we not go see them. These coaches, we want better, we go find them, we not see them. Unless they turn the table around and make things right. Now let me quote the NFF wrapping up on the show. Nigeria is now the 6th country in Africa to host this important course. We too like record, we like news. At the end of the day, or at the end of the 10-day program, participants will be assessed and certified to oversee coaching education and training nationwide. MFF President Gusau urged the 15 selected coaches to fully commit to the course, avoid distractions, and embrace the opportunity to improve their skill and mindset, the mentality, they work. In this way, they went as far as saying, we expect to see transformation in your attitude, behavior, and approach to your responsibilities. We will show you how this will go. We shall show you that you have gained real knowledge from the program. Okay, in his remark, NFF Technical Director and Course Coordinator Augustine Ogavo highlighted the importance of developing a distinct Nigerian football identity. He said the courses is not only about technical knowledge, but also about instilling coaching philosophies, behavioral standards, and strategic thinking in line with Nigerian football culture. In the words of the Nations Cup winner 1994, Technical Director of the Nigerian Football Federation, Augustine Eguavo, he said Nigeria has a unique football style, and this course aims to ensure our educators preserve and enhance their identity. We must take ownership of our development That's why all 15 participants are Nigerians with no foreign facilitators. He emphasized that coaching style must remain adaptable to the opponents, but national teams must align with an established philosophy. Maybe that's a letter to Eric Chair. Lastly, he said it's okay to evolve, but we must not deviate completely from what defines us. I like what he's saying. He said, added that the newly appointed national team coach Eric Chair will also work in harmony with this approach. I like what he's saying because we have a thing to do. We have an identity, but it's lost. Wrapping up lastly, on the selection of the participants, we have all said, CAF set strict criteria. Each participant must possess at least CAF B license and they must have active coaching experience within the last 5 years and be between 40 and 55 years old. That means I'm not going to go. Okay. All right. I know if you go this in premium. I was thinking something that could just be part of 45. That's high for me. But we'll go at that level to see how it goes. Yes, Super Falcons on the Nigerian side. Congratulations once again, Madugo, Ajibade, Oshola, all of the ladies. Thank you so much for what you did yesterday. I believe on Saturday the reverse would not be the case, but better the result will continue to go just as it goes. And I believe Nigeria Falcons will leave this one to make it the 10th time out of how many? Just a few one for the Falcons. Thank you so much for being part of the show. This is where I have to call it a close, but we have the media news coming up next right here on The Best Place to Be. We are the Voice of the People TV. This is the Sports Republic show. My name happens to be Kizuke, the only football player without a jersey. Guess what? I'll see you tomorrow again. Peace out.